Hi, this is John from Alexander. Welcome to my second game, the second round of the February Legacy Challenge. As you can see, I'm on the play. I lost the first game against Miracles. This hand is a pretty clear keep. I am going to play the Nimble Mongoose on turn 1, which I think is wrong. I'm not going to use the Stifle. That was my reasoning for playing the Nimble Mongoose. But representing the Stifle, I think, is still pretty strong. Notably, I don't have very many cards to put on the battlefield, so I'm going to play the Nimble Mongoose sooner rather than later. Maybe that played into my decision. That being said, I need to draw spells that I can't cast for 3 turns in order to punish me for not playing the Nimble Mongoose. That's not something that happens too infrequently, I must admit, but I'm actually not sure if it's better to play the Nimble Mongoose or keep up Stifle. I am going to get punished for it, kind of. My opponent has a basic plains now. Not that that's too bad. Swinging in for 1. Nothing really happening. At this point, I wasn't attacking with the Nimble Mongoose because my opponent had 2 mana open and I didn't want to trade any of my cards for a Snapcaster Mage. My plan usually is to make Snapcaster Mage dead. I don't want the body to be relevant and I don't want the cards it's flashing back to be relevant. So yeah, that's why I didn't want to attack with the Nimble Mongoose there. I think the 1 damage upside isn't really there, whereas the downside of having to trade a Daze for Snapcaster Mage is really, really bad. Daze becomes so much more powerful and useful later on in the game. When we get to counter wars or when I have Winter Orb on the battlefield, I don't want to blow it on a Snapcaster Mage. Drawing the land finally, still not attacking. My opponent casting the Ponder. At this point I can attack because my opponent only has a fetch land as their second mana source and I have Stifle in hand with double Daze backup in case my opponent does something annoying. Now my opponent has a Terminus, which I let resolve because I don't care. Unfortunately though, I'm a little tired at this point and kind of distracted. My eyes actually hurting quite a bit because I didn't manage to adjust my sleep schedule. I know I'm Johnning here, but I guess that's my name, so that's cool. Either way, I misclick on the fetch land and let it resolve by accident, and it's not actually too bad, but it's annoying. I would have much rather countered it than not countered it. If my opponent has Flusterstorm here, it's only for 2 with the Stifle, so actually it's for 3 because of the Terminus, but I can still actually pay for it and then Daze one of the copies, which in my book is a perfectly fine play, putting my opponent down to 2 lands. But this way they just get the second basic island, a second basic plains, which is just annoying. Here they have counterbalance, I brainstorm in response. I will put back 2 tropicals because those are pretty bad and I'm going to start using cards from my hand. And then fetch for Delta, fetch with Delta for Volcanic Island and Pyroblast to counterbalance. Which is going to work out fortunately because I don't want to blow, actually I do have to blow a Force of Will on the counterbalance. As you can see, I interestingly did not counter the counterbalance at this point. Usually I do that to trick people into letting the top counterspell resolve. People tend to do that and then counter whatever is beneath what is actually targeting the real spell. But yeah, I don't do that this time, but it still works out, which is great for me. Drawing a Brainstorm, which I could actually kind of reasonably cast at the end step here, but I don't. Instead I'm drawing Winter Orb and for some reason decide my opponent's open 4 mana is a good thing to play Winter Orb into. That also now shuts off my end step Brainstorm. my opponent now being able to fetch because I played my Winter Orb, and otherwise I could have played for the Flusterstorm. Then they get to blow up the Winter Orb with the basic mountain even, so things going completely out of control because I just don't want to win. And I basically have nothing at this point. I actually still don't end-step Brainstorm, which I'm not sure I can get behind actually, because my opponent now has 7 mana and I only have a counterspell in double days. If I counterspell I can't Brainstorm, and if I Brainstorm I can't counterspell, so here I'm actually going to do the end-step Brainstorm. Again, drawing into 2 lands, which is unfortunate. I'm keeping the True Name Nemesis. I will put that first from the top, draw into it my turn, and shuffle away the Tropical. Not playing Nimble Mongoose because I want to be able to keep up Counterspell, Spell Pierce in double days, which is at least somewhat reasonably able to counter spells. And now I have another days, which is very bad against 7 basics with no Winter Orb in sight. Fortunately though, my opponent is down to 4 cards, and here I have a Ponder that I'm going to mess up completely. So I think it's pretty clear that what I want to draw here is Force of Will, because then I have Force of Will and Counterspell open. Next turn I want to draw Pyroblast and be able to play my Nimble Mongoose. What I'm going to do instead, for some reason, is put back Ponder third, that's correct, then put back Force and draw Pyroblast, which makes absolutely no sense, unless my opponent is playing exactly Counterbalance and nothing else. So yeah, at this point I basically just want to lose the game, I guess. My opponent keeps spinning top because I don't have Winter Orb, because I wanted to kill my Winter Orb. I discard the days to hand size, which is something that happens reasonably often in the Miracles matchup. Now my opponent has Mentor, and I can counterspell it, but I can't force if my opponent has anything else. So there's Flusterstorm, which I can't pay for. So the Mentor is going to resolve, and there's another top, and at this point I'm guaranteed to be dead because my opponent just gets to go completely out of control with the Monastery Mentor. I still make them go through the motions because I'm a little upset, but what can you do? Well, what can you do? You cannot play as badly as I did, and you shouldn't. And at least I do manage to come around on that later on in the Legacy Challenge, but this game is still just very unfortunate to watch, I think. Not very happy about this game. My opponent continues to crush me completely. Now 5 creatures on board. One more spell and the tokens are even able to kill Nimble Mongoose without trading, and there is another spell. So my opponent had a 3rd Divining Top, which I guess is completely dead if I take the Force and counter the Monastery Mentor. But sometimes you just want to lose, and that's pretty easy to do. And my opponent actually killing me on this turn, I think. At least I'm not bothering blocking, and yeah, there we go. That was a pretty bad game on my end. I shouldn't have lost this one, and I was very unhappy about losing it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Sorry for giving you this terrible display of my performance, but it's part of the tournament and therefore I had to include it. If there's one thing you can take away, it's that if you play correctly with Canadian Threshold, you are able to win, but if you don't, it's pretty punishing, especially when you go up against powerful spells such as Monastery Mentor. So try to do your best. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.